Welcome to Conversations with K and J. We're your hosts, Kayla and Janae.
And here, we talk about love, life,
and lessons learned. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Daily Doses of Conversations with Kayla
and Janae.
In today's energy, we are looking at moving beyond words. The words, I love you, and the feeling of love hit differently. When we think of love, it is the feeling that courses through our veins that teaches us what love is, which is more powerful than the words of love ringing in our ears. Let us experience a life beyond words. Let us soften into the feeling of being alive. Let our experience be what we remember most rather than the spoken words and the empty promises. Life is about the moments and how they felt, rather than the words and what they meant. What do you think?
I think it's just saying we have to start living our life by the phrase that action speaks louder than words. Mm-hmm. And it's easy for people to tell you they love you or say things rather than them actually showing you and making you feel that way.
Yeah.
Because people can do things and they'll be like, I love you. Well, that don't align.
True.
You can't hurt me and love me at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So we have the Ace of Wands out. And looking at fire energy today, we're going to apply this in a passion type sense, something that you truly deeply feel or desire. With this being the ace, this is about new beginnings, going into something new, starting something new that has a lot of passion and desire around it. And for this to be connected to the Five of Swords lets me know that there are a lot of outside energies and things that may have gotten to you on a mental level in your past, but maybe creep up from time to time to try to cause insecurities or conflict, right? So the focus is not the other people, but it's seeing through what's been said in their actions so that you don't stay in a conflicted place within yourself or within your life, and you can move towards things that you truly desire, things that make life worth living, instead of focusing on the things that just make it confusing and conflicting. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think tying that with words again is that we use labels for people to give them more credibility than they owe. Like, oh, because you're my mom, because you're my father, because you're my sister, like I'm supposed to accept this behavior, but you don't make me feel like I'm your sister, I'm your friend, I'm your lover, like.
Mm-hmm. With the star and the Two of Wands being on the back. Sorry for the pauses, y'all. It's just a lot of like trying to fill out this energy and really figure out the purposeful meaning, because
right.
It's easy to focus on the low vibration aspect of this type of energy and make it about other things and people, but the point of our episodes is to bring it back to the center of self. Mm-hmm. So with the star and the Two of Wands, this is no longer holding yourself back in any form or fashion, because with the star card, you have a purpose and you are living within your purpose, and your purpose includes the conflict and the chaos and the ups and downs and the life lessons that you've experienced. It also includes these people and these obstacles and things that have been placed to teach you these lessons. Mm-hmm. And so it's transmuting energy overall to shine in the brightest light in which you deserve, right? So something with this star card is happening and has happened within divine timing. And a lot of pressure has been put on you to this point for you to shine like a diamond. So corny. So corny, but it is. Because now with this Two of Wands, you are arriving at this place where you're going to have to make a decision. And the decision is going to be between continuing to walk a path that is familiar and known to you and what is expected of you and how people are used to seeing you and you showing up, or completely walking away from that into what you truly desire. It doesn't mean that where you are is far from who you want to be or where you want to be, but how it feels and how you show up in it is different. You know, it's like living the life that you live right now, but wishing that you could be living this life without the heaviness of the burdens in your mind or your emotions or the problems that you've been dealing with or that have carried on and carried on. It may even be trauma, right? So this is ultimately, I don't know, acclimatizing it in a way to bring you into something new with this Ace of Wands. It's just a lot of fire energy that is speaking on movement, but it's also speaking on your destiny at the same time. So I think that collectively this is saying that we have all in some way or another gotten caught up on the things that people have said without the lack of action being put behind it. And what we can take from that and learn from that is how we want to show up within our lives and our reality. Like, we are people who mean what we say and we say what we mean. And you've been saying a lot to yourself about what you desire and what you want to accomplish in life. And now it's time to put that action behind it. I knew someone who had this quote, and it revolved around something, I don't know word for word, but it was saying that a dream without action is
it's just a dream.
It's just a dream, or just wishful thinking, something around those words.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I can't remember what it is.
And I feel like we've been around a lot of people that say a lot of things, but again, have not really put in the energy and effort in order to make that happen. It makes me think of something I heard this morning on TikTok, and the girl, she was talking about how people will cross you for money. And it's always people who don't have any at the end of the day that live in a life of wanting more. And I don't feel like she meant like they don't have money as like they don't physically have it, but they're always like uselessly spending it in a way where they're always still hungry for more. Like, it's never satisfying because they have no true purpose behind what they're doing or their intention on spending it or, you know, valuing it in the way that it should be.
Right.
So whether
like
it's
gambling.
Yeah.
Like a gambler who, you know,
yeah, you want to
can win the jackpot and then go put it right back.
It.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it right back in the slot machine.
So to tie this message in with our previous messages, we have sadness at the back. And sadness was the conversation about not being ashamed of how you feel or how things make you feel. And I recently experienced this myself. Like, words were said that had a heavy emotional effect on me until I had to snap out of it and realize that it's just words. There's never been any sort of true action behind those words to even make it real anymore. You know, it's literally like people just say whatever comes to mind in order to manipulate or put you where they want or expect you to be. And you have to be able to see beyond those words, because usually it's going to lead you back to yourself or the foundation that you've been building yourself upon.
Right. It leaves you with you making that action for yourself.
Yeah.
You can't stand on people's words. And you got to use discernment for when you have to make a choice. When you have to close the door and walk away. I
feel like this Ace of Wands came out with the Ten of Cups. So this is people who say that they've wanted the best for you or may have encouraged you to move towards things, but again, lacked the true support behind it at the end of the day. And so, again, to not focus on these other people, it is to bring it back to the center of understanding that your desire or your fire, your passion towards something new may have seemed to dim out in one way or another because it doesn't look like it would be as fulfilling or complete in the way that you saw before with this Ten of Cups. But God is always reassuring us in one way or another that when we get to where we're supposed to be, we will be met with what we need within that moment. And I think the greatest lesson I've learned throughout these last few years is breaking away from codependency, attachment. Mm-hmm. And that was always something that was like sour to my mind of like, you truly don't own anyone. Like you can't control anyone. Like nothing is truly yours. And so I've been able to see the positive side of that within our relationship. Like, I don't have to control you. I don't have to tell you rules and regulations. Like, I can give you the freedom to be who you are and make your own choices and still know that I'm a part of that.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that every cycle is going to come with releasing and letting go of things. And some things are just seasonal, or they come in to teach you the lesson, maybe over again in a different way that you need to see it. But I think in the last few weeks, what has really hit me hard is like losing something or someone and then feeling like, oh my God, God gave me this person or this thing to not take its place, but
in some way fill that void.
And then that was taken from me.
Right.
You know? And so it left me with an emptiness for a while of like, well, damn, I guess that's just like, I just need to stop getting close to people or thinking that like you can depend on certain things or people in a certain way. But again, that's an attachment. That's me wanting to attach myself to something that, again, does not belong to me, is not a guarantee at the end of the day. And even with our relationship example, like that's why people have to learn to be independent and not codependent, because whether it's a choice of you not choosing me or whether it's a choice of it being your time to leave this world or mine, you know, we have to still be able to know how to move forward within ourselves without basing our identity or our desires or our fulfillment of life upon other things outside of us. So
yeah, you're gonna have to be able to live with the feeling that person gave you rather than the physical person.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like I will always remember your love, even if you weren't here to remind me of your love.
Yeah, you will know that I loved you.
For sure.
Because I also taught you, and you taught me, what love is.
Right.
And if anybody ever comes in trying to offer me something less than that, than this experience, then I would know that it's not for me.
Right. Yeah.
And you also didn't teach me how to love somebody else. You taught me how to love myself. And when you got that, when you love yourself, you really don't need nothing else.
No, that's the milkshake. The milkshake and everything else is the whipped cream and the cherry on top. It doesn't make or break the milkshake. It can add on to it, but it doesn't take away from the ingredients of the milkshake within itself.
Well, it's not that you won't need anything else. I think it's just you'll never feel alone if you love yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think people can feel alone. But I think it's more of a feeling like you don't have what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Or a wholeness.
Right.
I don't know how else to explain it. I think it's another kind of word, but yeah, so I think what I'm going to tie into here is what I was telling you about the Eight of Cups and the Ten of Cups, right? So the Eight of Cups is not out in the spread, but it comes to mind when I think of the Ten of Cups, because people like to look at tens as completions, but it's just really a completion of a stage, of a cycle, of a level, and then you go into a new one, right? So the Eight of Cups is about you walking away from things or people that you once saw the Ten of Cups, what you saw as true fulfillment or getting everything that you desired within that dynamic or connection. And it stops at the 8 because that's all you were given. You only had those 8 of cups, but you were still missing the 2 to make the 10. And so when we look at the 5 of cups, 3 of those cups are spilled over. And the 3 of cups that are spilled over is the blockages, the things that were making you unhappy, that were taking you away from where you wanted to be or the person that you wanted to show up as emotionally. And then behind, you have the 2 of cups that are still standing. And that's why we say to not cry over spilled milk, because it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to get that liquid back in those cups.
Right. And you didn't lose everything.
You didn't lose everything. And so if you were to turn around and realize that those 2 cups are still standing, those are your 2 that goes to the 8 that then makes your 10. And that is important because, just like we said, people have set a standard within your life with those 8 of cups of what fulfillment feels like for you. And you're just seeking the other 2 that make it all a whole thing for you. So you're not going into this next cycle or stage in your life empty-handed. You have experience, you have memories, you have emotions, you have things that have taught you lessons to know what is for you and what is not for you, what you want to feel and what you don't want to feel, so that those can be clear indications of which direction you need to be going in. So you're not going to be shorthanded. You're not ending up with less than you had before. You're actually walking into more freely.
Yeah, you saying that makes me think that you never end up with nothing. The 2 cups that you can always count on to have, or that you need to look forward to, is yourself and faith.
Right.
And if you got those 2 cups, you can always keep going. You can always move forward from that. And those cups may be like, it still may seem like not enough, but the more you feel yourself and you feel faith, the 10 of cups is waiting there. You'll get new cups along the way.
So Judgment in the 4 of Wands is closing out this energy. And Judgment is really making me think, again, of Sagittarius energy, which I really think Sagittarius energy is coming up so strongly because of the season. We're going into Sagittarius season in the next week and a half, 2 weeks. And there's going to be a lot of movement happening in your life based off of your choices, based off of what you say it is and what it's not. Judgment is your call. God is within you. God is not outside of you. So God is guiding you through the guidance you get within you to make the choices that you need to make to create the reality that you're seeking with this 4 of Wands. So ultimately, you're wiping a slate clean. This is redefining what home is, what your foundation is, what life looks like for you. And another annoying saying is home is where the heart is. But your heart is going to be your passion. It's going to be your desire. It's going to be the things that make you wake up and want to do life. So that could be a relationship. That could be a career. That could be everything, all in one, right? Hopefully that is what you're aiming towards, not just focusing on one sector of your life and thinking that job is going to make you the happiest in the world, or that money will make you the happiest in the world, or that relation. Like, you can have it all. You don't have to choose between one thing or another if your heart desires it all. But it is the understanding of how you choose to see it and be within it. Because, I mean, justice is not here, but this is bringing in that balanced energy of you just needing to make sure that you're valuing what you are choosing and manifesting into your reality. And there's nothing wrong with you having it all. Some people want it all because they want control and power. To do what? If it's not like, you want control and power over yourself and your life and what you're building and creating. But some people want it all to control it all, to have power of it all.
Control and power over other people.
Yeah.
Over other people's energy, over other people's lives and fortune, things that aren't theirs.
Not theirs, right. So that's your detachment. That's the lesson that we've been understanding, because at the end of the day, even if you have the biggest false sense of power or perspective that you have power over people, you don't, right? And I don't know why I've been bringing up like politicians and the president and things like that, but that's a false sense of power, right? It comes with intimidation tactics and manipulation and fear and all of that in order to try to control masses of people. But it's still a false pretense of power, because it really only takes people coming together and breaking through the illusions for people to realize their true power on their own. You know? So, again, I'm not here to dismantle any of that. There's people and places and spaces that's their purpose. But for us to have our own understanding that your focus is you. It is your foundation. And people think that that's such a selfish thing when it's not. If everybody focused on themselves and were building themselves and doing what was best for themselves outside of trying to like undermine the next person, we would all be supportive in one way or another. The best thing that you can do is take care of you so that you can take care of someone else, right? If you're neglecting yourself and you're tiring yourself out and cheating yourself, you're going to feel like you can go do that to somebody else. You know, like it's a reflection.
Right. That's like what we was pulling today. The best thing you can do is play your role.
Play your role.
Play your role.
By being you.
Right.
Doing you and focusing on you.
Right. In basketball, if you the post player, play your role. Get the rebounds. Don't try to be the point guard, because you always end up dribbling it down the court and knocking it off your foot anyways. Like, you're not meant to dribble. You're meant to get rebounds. Play your role, and that helps everybody else out. We win. You win that way. That's what community is about. Everybody playing their role.
Yeah. So we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna close it out there. We love you guys. Thank you so much for vibing out with us, and we will talk to you in our next one. Bye.